Hello and welcome to Edukemy's YouTube channel. My name is Harsh, and in this video we shall discuss the feature news for today, that is RAM scheme. And this scheme is all about micro, small and medium industries, their progress, development, accelerating their progress and development. And therefore in this article we will not only understand what this scheme with the help of World Bank is going to do in India, what are its objectives, we will also understand many other schemes which are here, which are going to help MSME industries. The micro, small and medium industries are those industries which employ as many as you people have rightly mentioned, as many as 10 crore persons in India. 10 crore persons. The basic data about these industries is that employing 10 crore of population and 6 crore of such institutions, such small institutions, that there are 6 crore of them in the country. Along with that, they contribute, very rightly said, 30% of our GDP and 40% of our export. Not 50 but 40% of export, 30% of GDP, employing 10 crore people and 6 crore institutions. Imagine if any institution or any heading under which there is 30% of total GDP contribution, should that not be the area of focus? Absolutely it must be. But then this is the most vulnerable segment of industrial development, the micro industries, the small and medium industries. If you look at the images that are there in the background, these indicate very well what micro, small and medium industries could stand for. For example, atta, chakki pisna, right? If we grind the flour, this is a micro industry in itself. Similarly, creating these cups at homes, tea cups, paper cups, it's a micro industry in itself, micro, small industry in itself, depending on the level of investment or the total generation of revenues of these industries. Not only that, if you look at a shopkeeper, this is a micro industry, one person getting employed, informal employment, right? Papad industry, pickle industry, people who are participants in agricultural livelihood, all of them, people who are in working in forest products, all of them micro industries, right? Creation of a product with the help of GI tags, micro industry, medium industry, depending on the kind of investments and revenue it generates. Look at the smaller industries which have actually marked a ray of change in the country. For example, textile industry. The countries abroad have become advanced and they have the technology, but in India we still use hand looms, micro industry. Similarly, forest products, right? Tendu leaves, creation of tobacco, all of them micro and medium industries. And these industries can actually foster change. This is what I want to represent, provided they are financed, provided they are funds. But formally speaking, as much as 40% of these micro industries, they are not funded at all. Imagine this, even to the level that a person who is farming in their farming land, if they are not able to access credit, that is a problem. So when these kind of industries are facing this problem, 30% of the production of the India, of our country, but not being able to access formal credit, this is a huge problem. And for that same reason, what is mandated is that these micro industries be protected. But what has happened during the times of COVID? The micro industries, medium industries and small industries in the urban areas and rural areas, both, either of the areas, you see, they have stopped. This was one of the editorial itself today. The third editorial was on this itself, that the bigger industries have had better ways in which they could cope with the vulnerabilities of the COVID lockdown. For example, they could automate themselves. They could also plot where their employees have gone to. The micro industries, they're still looking for where their employees have gone. And when are they returning back? It has been 2 years since COVID. Not only that, these industries have not started, the demand has also reduced. Many smaller industries have been taken over by the bigger companies, right? But then micro industries facing that challenge, that disparity still exists in the country. And in this regard, this feature news is on RAM scheme, a scheme to rejuvenate the micro industries in our country. So what does this scheme actually mean is very relevant for understanding the other schemes as well. This was a part of the budget speech of the finance minister itself, that they would invest in the micro, small and medium industries in multiple ways. So raising and accelerating MSME performance, RAMP P, raising and accelerating MSME performance program. RAMS might seem to be a little vague, but then if you come to understand its objectives and other schemes which are relevant and related, you would know how this whole value chain progresses, right? So ideally, this scheme funded by the or held by the World Bank provides 500 to 800 million dollars to Indian creditors, and this will ease the availability of funds. वही पैसे की बात आ गई. This will ease the availability of funds for these 6 crore industries, 10 crore people, and people working for export generation or people working for the GDP creation. So World Bank will be aiding the funding, right? And then India will be taking up these funds, and then further they will percolate these funds amongst the micro, small and medium industries according to requirements. So the idea is to improve access to market and credit. Abhi, hold on your guns. Not only access to credit, access to market, access to products, access to better standards of production, all of them will be included. So when I looked at the website of MSME Industries, the various schemes which are working, you people have mentioned some of these schemes. I appreciate the points that you people had mentioned in the other video. There were certain points put here very clearly. For example, worker registration, e-Shram portal, right? Samarth initiative, very, very beautiful initiatives so that micro, small and medium industries get rejuvenated. We will cover all these right here, quite a few of them on the other window as well, the other live chat, but then I will cover quite a few of these initiatives right here. All right, so let's continue with this discussion. So ideally, to have better access to credit and to access to market, this has been the prime agenda. If you remember, we have covered various aspects of micro, small and medium industries. For example, private sector participation in waste management, informal sector in waste management. What is it? Micro industry. Similarly, if you speak of the textile industry, I remember having covered the textile industry scheme, right? If you know the name of the scheme, please type it down right here. We had covered a complete series on food processing industries and food processing sector, the complete value chain. We also understood in totality what is about the vendors, right? The local shopkeepers, street vendors, a complete scheme on that. And all of these people are participants in the micro, small and medium industries, right? Even people who are distributing and selling golgappas and chaat, local shops around, they are micro industries in themselves. They were counted for how they can take in loans. But remember, the government had initiated scheme for taking loans at smaller levels. Please type down the name of the scheme here, if you people know it. So this program, this scheme, that is RAM scheme, raising and accelerating MSME performance. Now start envisaging how a Golgappa person's business can increase or can get accelerated and raised. How can they raise their bars with some finances? They can learn the ways in which hygiene can be implemented at their shop. They can learn better ways of marketing it. They can start delivering the food online as well. There are many ways in which, if they become aware, they will be more empowered. For example, a good example is the example of satellite kitchen itself. They can run that. So improving access to market, see, and improving access to credit, that is it. If we do this for people, they will be more sustained. They will sustain themselves. Strengthening institutions and governance at center and state. Improving center-state linkages, partnerships, and ensuring that the payments for these MSMEs are not delayed. There is a portal. If you people name that portal, I'll be happy. There's a portal which ensures that timely payment to MSMEs is done, right? Please put it down in the comment section. All right. So this is the RAM scheme. But when we discuss a scheme, we don't understand only the context of that scheme. We will understand a lot of other schemes in totality. What about the other schemes? Before anything, see, this is the MSME sector that we are speaking of. So let us quickly make you understand what are the criteria for defining an MSME sector. right? See, earlier the definition was based on the investments, how much investments you have made, but then not everybody was able to in a transparent manner declare what was the investment. For example, if the investment is at a micro level, it would be regarded as micro industry. A smaller investment, see, investment in manufacturing sector and service sector are different, and the MSMEs can be in manufacturing and service both. Suppose I am a gardener, I'm giving service to people. This is a service sector, but this is a micro industry, right? Similarly, if I'm manufacturing something, this can also be micro and small and medium industry. So depending on the investment. But then if investment is vague, the criteria is not known, it is flawed, then the government said that the new definition will contain, instead of investment in plant and machinery, it would contain the data on annual turnover. Annual turnover. Turnover does not mean profit. Turnover means kitna kharcha, kitna apne revenue generate kiya, how much generation of revenue you have done. Out of this, you will pay the employees. Out of the turnover, you will pay the employees. You will have depreciation costs. You will pay back the loans. There will be some profit or losses. So that profit or loss is not important. What is important is how much you sold, turnover. And on the basis of turnover, the MSMEs would be decided. We have covered this definition. Manufacturing enterprise, micro, if you've sold for 25 lakh, it is micro. Sold for, I think, is this the old definition? Looks like the old one. Please check. This is the old one. The new classification indicates something else. A lot of data. You can't have just 10 crore of, you can't have just 10 crore rupees of total revenue generation and call yourself a medium industry. No, this is false. This data is false here. This data is relevant for the previous times investment, total investment in machineries and capital investment, right? So good that we have noted this thing down. Now this RAM scheme is right now going to get activated only in some specific states. Some states which are more active, somewhere where credit line is available to people, where there are ready access to persons who are taking credit and not finding people, and slowly and steadily they will also seep into other places. All right, so this is something about the smaller industries. But getting back to understanding more about other schemes on the same sector, what are those? Let me quickly turn over some of the slides and show you those. Some of the other schemes are okay, here we go. The first one is Entrepreneurship Skill Development Program. If RAM scheme is going to fund a program like this, where people are able to get motivated, a 2-day program to get motivated or inspired on developing your own enterprise. So, example, if a gentleman was working in somebody else's shop and repairing repairing the puncture, and next day they feel, I don't want to work under anybody else, I just want to work by myself. What about their training? What about providing 10,000 rupees so that they could start their industry? If that be the case, this RAM scheme is working. This Entrepreneurship Skill Development Program is working. The person gets their own skill, they are able to start their own venture by themselves. Just simple cycle repair center itself, right? Similarly, if you would have seen, there are many household people, and the cooker, it doesn't generate the pressure. A simple shop and a couple of here and there beating around the lid of the cooker, it makes it work. Micro industry. So what it needs is some motivation for people, some awareness, some training. So this is a part of those schemes which can help a person generate their own employment. Not only this is one Entrepreneurship Skill Development Program. But what about a person having some skill already? They could have technology upgradation and quality certification. If the product is qualified as certified, that means it can be exported as well, right? If the product is certified as a product which does not have, I was looking for these words, zero effect and zero defect, Z scheme. Remember, we have covered this. Z scheme, zero effect and zero defect. So this scheme initiated way back in 2016. The idea was to create those products which do not have any defect in themselves and which do not have any bad effect on the environment. So what is this? This is a part of upgrading the technology for the product. right? For example, if I'm creating plasticware, some small plastic toys with the help of obsolete technology, just burning the plastic and molding it, this is obsolete. The quality of product will be low. It will not even pass quality standards. So for that, we need technology upgradation. If the working of the hand loom is not proper, we need power to be introduced so that people do not have to work with hands. This is technology upgradation. Who will fund this? RAM will fund this, right? So this is how RAM will work at various levels to fund products. The objective of the scheme, technology upgradation and quality certification, is to inculcate zero defect and zero effect in practice and manufacturing process, ensure continuous improvement, and ensure that make in India and make for the world happens, right? So note these names. These names are very important, right? Just the names and what it means. Market promotion schemes, we will cover what it means. Promoting in the market. Development of khadi village and coir industry. So what do they do? See, the idea has been to promote khadi, make it more publicly available. Publicity, marketing, market promotion, where various agriculture. See, we have APIDA, Agricultural Produce Export Development Authority. We have TriFed, tribal generation of promotion for tribal products, TriFed, APIDA, and then we have similar for fisheries development. Similar, we have councils for the marginalized section, minorities commission, also helping the scheduled tribe, scheduled caste. Also have got communities which can help in promotion of these products. So what is it that we are talking of? We are talking of publicity, marketing, and promotion. Simple example of this is organizing the fairs, right? For example, the India International Trade Fair, good example of promotion. Whenever they would happen in Delhi, because years back when I was preparing, I would go to these fairs and study these products, some of these products, how are they prepared, what is the use of it. The simple example of informal industry like this could be the silk industry itself, right? So how it is produced, what is the funding, what is the yearly cycle, what is the revenue generation, very important to understand, and people need funds for this. They are not accessible. So not only funds, but then promoting the product, marketing. So this is where the scheme, development of khadi village coir industries or marketing promotion schemes, they start to aid. And who helps? The primary scheme that we spoke of, that will be the flagship scheme. The RAM scheme will be the flagship scheme here. Another scheme, Aspire, names that itself explains. Aspire, the scheme for promotion of innovation, rural industry, and entrepreneurship, right? So you might see some overlap in their functioning and working, but then the funding is same, right? The funding structure is same. So livelihood business incubators, livelihood business, if you want to create pickle or papad or process food at home level, or with the help of self-help groups funding amongst themselves, somebody is going to fund you. Somebody is going to help you understand the skill, how to do it, right? Simple examples, use 6, 7, 8 examples, right? Carpet making, whatever the GI tags products that you see, processing of wheat, anything, all of it, use 7, 8 unique examples for yourself, and then you see how you are going to implement these schemes for those people. I use the example of textile industry, hand loom to machine loom creation with the help of technology upgradation, right? Simple. You can also use the example of creation of the Christmas caps and exporting it to the other countries. But what do we need? We need Z, zero effect, zero defect, right? We need, similarly, you can also use the example of diya, right? The candle, they are used in all the festivals. From festivals of any religion, you could see candles are utilized, even in home products, home care products. What do we need? We need people's awareness, we need quality products, we need finances, we need people to understand the skill. So if that is there, there will be further export of these products. We will not need bigger industries. At medium level, this will start working. Similarly, just like Aspire, we have Spurti, scheme for fund of regeneration of traditional industries. So what does it want? Cluster approach, a clustered approach to a product. ODOP, one district, one product, is a cluster approach, right? Similarly, having food parks or textile parks are cluster approach, right? So that's the primary agenda here. I will look at the comments here. I know some people are typing here. I will look at the comments in the short while, but let me complete at least this side so that I move to the current affairs magazine that we have. All right. So cluster development, product designing and development, intervention and packaging, enhancing, all of this, right? So be it the local food vendor, be it textile park, be it food processing sector, be it associated with agricultural, GI tag products, anything. And if we need Sphurti, what we will need is that we need a cluster approach to traditional industries, those industries which are traditional and now which are not, possibly sunsetting. So we can rejuvenate those industries. Sphurti, Aspire scheme to have technology centers, incubation centers for entrepreneurship, and this is how all of it can be worked. So have maybe 7-8 examples. MSME forms a very fundamental sector, right? Similar, just like, see, if you remember, we had studied manufacturing, manufacturing sector, and only lately we understood the issues with additive manufacturing. So that is the issues with manufacturing sector. Service sector doing well, we need agricultural people to not only move to service sector but to move to manufacturing sector. So that is manufacturing. But then in manufacturing and service, there is a component, bigger component called as MSMEs. They are more vulnerable. Access to credit, access to technology, access to resources, competition with bigger industries in India, competition with international industries because of WTO norms. Oh my, challenge pe challenge. Lesser availability of market because of encroachment of market by bigger companies. Impact of COVID, lesser their lesser participation because people aren't aware of the products. Even if they are aware, these are not certified products. Sivkasi, right? That's the name, no? In Tamil Nadu, that's the place where the crackers are prepared. So if this is Cobb brand, then only people use it. Look at the name of or the value of branding here. If Basmati rice has been branded, then only people want to eat or purchase. The price escalates when the product is branded. Now this is what MSMEs need. So you got to point out 7-8 issues in MSMEs. What are the opportunities for a country like India and how these schemes are helping. These are the 3 components. You utilize it well and then you will see how it works for you. And you can use this ramp, raising and accelerating MSME performance, RAMP, to talk about the credit flow for all these schemes, Aspire, Sphurti, and so many, and there are many schemes at state levels which are operating for this, right? Now this is where I want to bring to you something that I wanted from you people in the comment section. I wanted this. I wanted you to put PIRP, pre-packaged insolvency resolution plan, factoring amendment bill, regulatory sandbox by RBI, hackathon, and the scheme, Samart scheme for capacity building in the textile sector. Examples, right? So, because we have discussed each of them, and these are very specific things that not everybody would know, but you would know. And PIRP, I was expecting a question on MSME in the main examination. I was expecting a pure question on MSME development. Even if not there, very important scheme. You can start looking at how all these inputs can be put in various questions, right? Very critical. If you look at the answers of the people who are topping the examination, not clearing, topping the examination, I feel that there is a certain level you people have already reached. All you got to do is practice more questions, handwritten also, and give these kind of examples. This is sufficient. This is for the main, for pre-examination, you also got to cross that hurdle, whatever be the requirements, some of them getting served through these videos also, some of them through what you study in traditional UPSC preparation. All right. So PIRP, what are those? Pre-packaged insolvency resolution plan. Now the insolvency resolution plans are usually called as CIRP, corporate insolvency resolution plan. That means whenever any company does not have any money to pay back when it had taken loan earlier, I had taken say 50 lakh rupees from Bhavani and I couldn't refund it. So there is already a signed contract how the insolvency resolution will happen. I have become insolvent. How this resolution will happen, what the industry, my industry that I had set up, how will it be sold, how much money Bhabani will get back, how will they be able to recover the losses, how will the assets that I have in the company be again, managed, sold, or sold to another entity or given back to society. What is the idea? This is CIRP. But in case of MSMEs, pre-packaged insolvency resolution plan will be introduced. It means to say that selling will not be there, restructuring of debts will be there. There will be lesser penalty for people who are into this penalty, and in case of MSMEs, so this is an advantage for MSMEs, pre-packaged insolvency resolution. Similarly, factoring amendment bill. Factoring, there was a change in the factoring amendment bill through which payments could be made. Smoothing of payments for MSME was done. So factoring business is a complete altogether different business. We have covered this complete in one update. In factoring business, there are quite a few parties. For example, I am the producer. I am one party, and there is a consumer, and there is an organization from which I have taken the loan. So suppose a bank or an organization I have taken the loan from. They provide me money. I produce the entity. These people, consumer, pay me, and then I pay them back. There is a lag in this whole payment system. If this link has broken because of COVID times, how will I be able to create products? How will I get the payments? How will I return it back? This is where the factoring business comes into a very good play. They say that if you give us the receipt of the payments that are due, we will keep on collecting the payments later. We will take a small fraction of it, but we will provide you instant cash so that your operation does not cease. This is the factoring amendment bill, right? And they have amended this bill so that more institutions can participate. More institutions, NBFCs and banking institutions can participate in helping the MSMEs. Imagine this. Government has done all this change to help the MSMEs. Similarly, RBI has created a regulatory sandbox. What is that? We have covered as a term. We have covered this update of sandbox also. Be a part of it regularly. You will see this. Understand these. So in sandbox, there would be repeated trainings held to understand how technology can be used to help a particular group of people. So one regulatory sandbox was for financing, innovative solutions for financing, right? Another, so for example, Paytms being used by everybody, Bheem being used by everybody. One regulatory sandbox was there for people in agriculture sector. Another sandbox for MSME, how MSMEs can utilize the digital technology, right? Hackathon, producing solutions through technology and understanding how the MSME can grow, right? What about Samarth scheme for capacity building in textile industries? This is sufficient. This is exactly what is required, and this is sufficient for you to gain enormous strength for knowing and answer writing. You don't have to refer anything here, right? So complete theme understanding is right ahead of you, in front of you. Let me look at some of the inputs and questions that you people have put here. All right. Right from the beginning. Thank you for these inputs on these slides, the new changes that we have done. Thank you very much. They are inputs for, you people are regular viewers. They are inputs for changes, reformation, anything. You people have to recommend this. Only if you suggest, we will make the right changes. Otherwise, we would be blinded. You people are the one who have eyes, and we will have ears for listening to what you have to say. Okay, so Hima's point, taken note of providing port to Nepal by India as well. Visakhapatnam and Haldia port, all right. Treaty of Peace and Friendship between India and Nepal, 1950. Okay, thank you. What else? Politics between Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, all that. Yes, impacting us, absolutely. Okay, what else? MSMEs to be defined as 10 crore population, 6 crore of MSMEs industries, 30% of GDP and 40% of exports. Okay. Ashish, your doubt is clear right now. They cannot be sold to foreign entities. That's absolutely true. But foreign entities can donate us funds, political parties. That's it. Ashish, if it's not clear, let me know. Okay, I think it's not clear. See, I cannot purchase a bond, electoral bond, and give it to a foreign entity. I have to give it to only specific national parties having 1% of votes in the last election at provincial or union levels. On the other hand, institutions which are abroad, through their subsidiaries, they can also fund the political parties. That's the only difference that I wanted to clarify. Okay. Hi Sam, good evening, welcome. Arpit, welcome, good evening. I'm good. How are you? Okay. Hi Vivek, good evening. Yes. So thank you for mentioning PM Swanidhi scheme and PM Mitra. Good. Samadhan portal for the resolution of payments for MSMEs. Yes, absolutely, Amlan, you're correct. Mitra scheme for textile and Swanidhi scheme for street vendors. Absolutely correct. Yes, Hima has also mentioned bicycle repair, cooker repair, moving from colony to colony. Not only that, exchanging the used products and giving utensils. These are MSMEs, right? These utensils who create? They create in their smaller industries and they sell it across, right? Their quality needs to be better. They need to be more aware of how to market these products. These are MSMEs that we speak of. So TriFed mentioned by Netra here, Tribal Cooperative Marketing Development Federation. Absolutely good, thank you. ODOP, remember 5-7 ODOPs, no? 5-7 GI tags, use it always. Okay, Sivakasi, good enough. Okay, good enough. So let's move to quickly to this second part. And yes, the definition of MSMEs right now here, which is written, is the older one. The newer one clearly mentions of what is the revenue generated in manufacturing sector and in service sector, both at micro, medium and small levels. So micro, small, MSME, right? So these are the new parameters. I will share them with you. But then more important is to understand what is the reason for this change, right? So these are better indicators to understand which category the industry falls into. RAMP program, all right. So it has been recommended that we must have a program like this, raising, accelerating MSME performance program, and the program which will commence in financial year 2022-23 hopes to help MSMEs, specifically targeted ministries budget indicated to these 5-6 states that we started with. Developed states, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, all these states. All right, 808 million corpus will have 500 million from World Bank and 300 million from central government. Okay, so what are they trying to do? Market access, credit access to people, center state linkages in schemes, addressing the issues of delayed payments to MSMEs. All right, delay nahi karna hai. Many entities take products from MSMEs and they do not return the amount for which they take the loan. See, if they've taken some product, for example, bamboo product taken from the MSME, and the amount was not paid to them. This is where the government has said that you have to pay some amount in advance and rest of the amount in the coming fortnight itself. However, if the payments are not made, there will be fines, there will be penalties, as simple. And there will be a portal which will clearly indicate about the pending payments and by when they must be made, right? So making things very transparent for MSMEs and their growth. Only when people will get the funds will they be able to circulate their business cycle. So this is it. What are the challenges? The challenges are, you people know it already. Finance, registration for MSMEs. अभी पता ही नहीं है कहाँ पर MSMEs है, कहाँ गए लोग, where, what about the e-Shram portal? Yes, e-Shram portal has decent registrations, but then migrant laborers na ज़्यादातर. What about the people? They have to be pinpointed, and we have to start focusing that these people have to be targeted, right? For helping with finances, helping with the technical skills, technology upgradation, helping with the market facilities, providing them increased access to market, making the product available in the digital world, and giving them certification, quality certification, right? Lack of formal banking support. 40% of MSMEs lack this. All right. Bad loans, delays in payments, right? Many of them are not able to return back the payments. Some of them they do their work well, but the payments are not given to them in time. Impact of COVID, you people know this, right? How will ramp access help this scheme? So access to credit, capacity building, addressing the challenges of COVID, all of them, self-reliance, empowerment, strategic investment plans. Use all these examples. Yeah, the points that I mentioned now, if you can pick up only the headings and give an example with the name of the scheme, your answer is done. A huge chunk of this will be done. And when we speak of manufacturing sector, when we speak of growth of manufacturing sector, this MSME growth is also an important part of manufacturing growth, right? See, the contribution in GDP, 30% of GDP. Market sizes 6 crore plus MSMEs, 10, 11 crore of persons in the country. Right? The definition has changed because the previous definition, we didn't understand what is the investment level in service sector and manufacturing sector. There was less clarity on how much investment was there. So right now, the parameters are based on the revenue generation, the turnover, right? Because that is the turnover through which the companies also declare their taxes. So easier one. Government efforts for MSMEs. Oh, innumerable efforts that we have spoken of. Credit linked subsidy, export initiative, khadi support, budgetary support, credit emergencies to all these industries. Oh, programs like RAMP will help scale up implementation capacity, MSME coverage. All right, great. So we covered the RAMP scheme. We have covered many other schemes which relate to the industry of micro, small and medium scale industries. Okay. What have we understood here? We have understood not only RAMP but MSMEs altogether. So definition due from my side, you people haven't written. Hima has only mentioned 250 crores for service sector. That's it. The upper cap, well, I think, yes. But then the complete definition you should be aware. I'll share an image of the same. Along with that, MSMEs, what would we understand? We understood the data about MSMEs 10, 30, 40 and 6. Okay. What did we understand? We understood at least 7 to 8 schemes which are relevant and related to RAM scheme. Right? Raising and accelerating micro, small, medium industries performance program. Right? So how do we do this? We understood 7, 8 various schemes, and we also gave the examples of the kind of industries that could participate in this. Okay. Along with that, see, this is very important because this summarizes the whole episode. Along with that, you people will be able to write the names of schemes. All I'm saying is write the names of schemes and some examples that we have spoken. That's it. Write the names of some products that can be created through MSMEs, or and yeah, of course, we also understood what are the ways in which MSMEs are facing challenges. So upgradation is a challenge, awareness is challenged, finances is a challenge. So 6, 7 challenges mentioned here. And what are the opportunities in a country like India? That's it. And once you know this, once you memorize this, use this everywhere in GS paper 3. Use this everywhere in governance and how governance can improve here. That's done. Right? So revision is the key. That's it. Oh, here we go. Vivek says new definition for micro investment up to 1 crore. Turnover up to 5 crore, small turnover up to 50 crore, and medium turnover up to 250 crore. Vivek, this is same for the manufacturing and the service sector. Hi Pooja, good evening. Okay, Bhavani says use red color. Okay, I'll ensure to do that. Color which has the longest wavelength. Oh, great scientist. Okay, peace. Thank you for being a part. I will see you all tomorrow evening. Okay, Pooja has GS classes, I remember. All right, no worries. So, all the people here, if you like this initiative, share some love through likes, comments, and shares. The things are very warm in your mind. Whenever you watch this video, put it down in your notes immediately. This is going to be of immense help throughout when you prepare and when you start looking at the examination, pre-examination and main examination, both of them. covered quite a few schemes. We understood what are the challenges and what are the opportunities in India for MSME sector. So yes, Vivek says same for both. Thank you very much, Vivek, for this data. It's there for everybody now. People in comments can watch. The investment up to 1 crore and turnover up to 5 crore. This is one parameter for micro industries. For small, 10 and 50 crore of investment and turnover respectively, and for medium, 50 and 250 crores. Okay. C is for what? Challenges. The challenges of micro, small, medium industries in the country. Example, technology is not there, credit is not there, their labeling, their branding is not there, marketing, digitization, all of these are lacking in the country for all the products. देखो पापड़ जो खाते हैं, is it all legit papad? It's not. We don't know the brands if they're branded well. Sivakasi is a good example of branding, right? The crackers, the Murga brand crackers. Okay, so thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Babani, Ashish, Pooja, Netra, Amlan, Kim, Hima. Good night to all of you. I will see you all tomorrow evening for current affairs and the feature news discussion. Thank you and good night.